Hello, my dance friends, and welcome to my channel. Today, I get to chat with Myra Krien. Based in Santa Fe, New Mexico, Myra is a renowned Minot-inspired dance artist, international performer, choreographer, and teacher of what we call belly dance. From touring internationally, to opening her own dance studio, Pomegranate Studios, to creating her state-of-the-art fitness program, FunkX, to founding a non-profit youth mentorship program called SEEDs, which stands for self-esteem, empowerment, and education through dance. She has and continues to teach, create within, and inspire our dance community. She has been recognized several times over for her dedication to the community through awards of excellence. Most recently, she was the recipient of the 2019 Mayor's Award for Excellence in the Arts, and she continues to teach, mentor, and create performance showcases through her studio today. I'm so excited to finally get to chat with Myra. I've been very inspired by her SEEDs program, and I've wanted to talk to her about that and all the other things she does for quite a while now. Today, we're going to talk about how Myra got into Minot-inspired dance, how Pomegranate Studios got started, what inspired her to create the Pomegranate SEEDs youth program, and what all that entails. She has several training programs, including teacher training for SEEDs. She's going to tell us all about what she has going on through Patreon, online classes, and teacher training at the very end of the video, so stick around. So without further ado, here's Myra. Hi, Myra.
Hi, Blair. So wonderful to meet you today. It is a very auspicious and an historic day, right? With the inauguration, it was really moving.
I get to visit with Myra Krien on Inauguration Day. I am super thrilled, but I'm also really excited to be able to finally meet you and chat with you. I'd love to just dive right in and ask you how you got started in Minot and fusion inspired dance style.
Well, when I was a very young girl, my grandparents lived in Santa Barbara, and they started a very unusual community, and out of that community came a fundraiser for a radio station called KPFA, and it was the Renaissance Fair, the first Renaissance Fair in the Southern Fair. And then they started a Northern Fair. And I grew up, my father and my brother and I and my mother going to the fair every year. And my father would play, he was a professional harpist, and he would play a small harp, and I would dance, and we would collect money. My brother and I were trolls under the bridge one year. It was super fun, and I lived for the fair. I loved it so much. So I saw Bala Not there, and it completely changed me. It was just some of my first impressions, right? And I was completely taken over. And my mother was dancing a lot, and she loved to do different kinds of Middle Eastern dances. She studied with Bert Balladine and took me to class with her all the time, and several other really inspirational instructors that were there in the Bay Area at the time. So I just fell in love. I was completely passionate about it. And some of the loveliest time I spent in my childhood was practicing with my mom and going to these classes. It was really fun. I also was blessed with a lot of live music in my life and a lot of live Middle Eastern music. And I studied under Jamila as a very young person. And then I studied under a lot of other really amazing people. It was always a passion of mine. I never, ever thought that I would grow up to become a belly dance instructor. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't really think that I would do that. I mean, I thought that I would teach classes. When I was in high school, a lot of the people in my gym class were really suffering and having a really hard time. And so I went to the principal of the Mount Tamalpais High School, and I said, how would it be if I could start a belly dancing class on the mezzanine in the student lounge, and everybody that signs in for that class gets PE credit? Would you agree? And he said, yeah. So I had like 70 or 80 students show up, young boys too, high school age boys came, a small amount, but some of them came, and I taught. And some very famous dancers actually got inspired by that class and went on to study with all these amazing people in the Bay Area and become professional dancers. You know, but I didn't imagine that this would become my career. But, you know, here I am. I did bellygrams. I danced at restaurants before I was even really old enough, you know, to be there. I mean, I was super young, dancing at that time to a lot of live music. I was very lucky, very, very blessed. And then when I came here to Santa Fe, I sold sold all my costumes at St. John's College, which is all about philosophy, math and sciences, ancient languages. And I just didn't think that this was going to continue to be something that I would do for a living. But when I got to St. John's, I continued to teach. I was also a fitness instructor before I came out here. So I continued to teach fitness, and then I started up these dance shows at the college. And it just was always something I would do kind of on the side. And I would always take as many classes as I could because I loved it so much. But still, I didn't think it was going to be my career. I thought it was going to be like a hobby where I made enough money to continue enjoying my hobby, you know? And then I got asked by a very famous recording artist, his name is Otmar Liebert, to go on his world tour. This was long before Rachel Bryce went on Lollapalooza or any of those things. So it was a Sony Records tour, and I got invited to be his opening act all by myself. I performed for 20 minutes all the way across America, Canada, and in Europe. They did a special for PBS where they actually showed some of my performance. This was a huge experience for me. Like, it was a real tour bus. It was the whole thing. It changed me, you know, it really changed me. I thought, oh, maybe I could and should be doing this. And I sat in meditation for a really long time when I came back from the road. And I just really heard that this is what I should do. So I started teaching classes, and I formed a dance company in 1996, Mosaic Dance Company. And I formed Pomegranate Studios, and we made our start. We're celebrating our 25th year, which I'm really excited about. I think it's kind of shocking to me. I'm like, 25 years, wow.
That's incredible. To keep a studio alive and thriving and to continually be evolving within that community is super impressive. You teach and you have a staff of teachers there, correct?
Yeah, I raise a lot of instructors. I have a deep commitment to the ongoing legacy of this work. I am profoundly committed to Minot dance and always wanting to uplift and promote the art of it. I really do see it as an art form. And I have very lucky to travel to many amazing places and do the work that I do in terms of workshops and creating large-scale dance productions and working with the local dancers. And I've been very, very blessed to be able to do that and feel very grateful for that. I've been able to really impact my community here, but also to grow that. And so I've also raised up a lot of dancers. There are many professional dancers in the field today that came out of my studio, and there are also many amazing teachers who came out of the studio originally, and of course they've gone on to study with all kinds of amazing other dancers and other teachers besides myself. But I'm proud to say that they got excited and fell in love and got a really strong base training, you know, at my studio, and I'm really grateful to see so many of them go on and continue this legacy of dance that I have been so devoted to and that I have given my life to.
I am just so thrilled that your studio is thriving and that you've brought so many dancers into the community and brought about so much positive art creation. What I am absolutely also thrilled to finally be talking to you about, because it's so near and dear to my own heart, self-esteem, empowerment, and just overall personal growth through dance, which I think is so amazingly inspiring, and I would love to hear more about the SEEDS program.
Oh, thank you. I started SEEDS, which stands for Self-Esteem, Empowerment, and Education Through Dance, in 2000. This was something that I felt compelled to do because of two things primarily. One was that all the adult women that were coming to my classes at the time would just say to me, if only I had met you when I was younger. And I thought, oh, something special was happening here. And I was having a lot of teenagers showing up at my door, and they would come early and they would stay late, and they just needed so much. And I really wanted to give it to them. I had had a very difficult teenage year sort of period. I was out on my own from the time I was 15. When I wanted to become a dancer, I literally lived in my car for a year. So I was not prepared for the world, and I struggled. You know, it was challenging. And so I sat down and wrote up all the things that I wished that I had been given. I created this 9-month-long after-school program. And the program was, you would come, dance for an hour, dance hard. I think every young person needs a rite of passage, you know, pit yourself against learning things that are hard, but that you love, you know, and also be seen and be witnessed by your community. Performance is such a rite of passage. So it offered that 3 afternoons a week. We would meet for 2 hours each session. And then the second hour was talking circles. And I would ask them questions like, what does the word dignity mean? What is community? So we could talk about all these important things. The way the program is set up is that the first 3 months is all about the self-esteem, nutrition, self-care, media literacy, sexuality, all these things about the self. And then the second 3 months is all about financial literacy. So how do you balance a checkbook? How do you do credit? How do you save? What do you do with your savings? How does your spending reflect your values? What are your values? And how would you keep track of that? How do you create a budget? And very important for teenagers, how much will it cost you to move out on your own? How would you read a lease contract? How would you, how do you face these very fundamental aspects of stepping out into the world as an adult? And then the last 3 months is all about how do we move from the self to others? So communication exercises, deep listening. What are the communities that we're involved in? What is our interaction with them? How are we communicating with our parents and maybe our first relationships that we're having for a teenager, and our friendships and that kind of thing? Or if you belong to a larger community like a church or a team or any of these other things. And of course, SEEDs is a community and the studio is a community. So just talking about that, interview skills as we grow up, what is our actual responsibility, i.e. our ability to respond to people outside of ourselves. SEEDs overall is about resourcing. I really try to stress that. I don't tell them what to think. I really try to encourage them to use their own voice and to really hear themselves, to be able to articulate what they think and what they feel, to be able to listen to each other even if they don't agree. We do a lot of career mentorship. In the beginning, we ask them, what would you like to be in the world? And then I source people from the community, who are good at that. And they come in and they talk about their career path and what it took for them to get there. I do also select presenters to come in to talk about different subjects that I think are really important toward life skills, subjects that I think will really be of interest. And also when we talk, I can tell that each individual in the group has certain perspectives and certain things that they might need. We have often done a self-defense piece because somebody was being bullied. We always look at also the cyber world and social media and all of that. We talk about that a lot now. I'm in the process of adding an environmental piece that I will put in the third section that's all about how we can responsibly support and help care for the earth and be better citizens of the earth. In short, that's what it's all about. It's 9 months long, 3 afternoons a week. So, it's a lot. We do a lot together. And then when they graduate, if they wish, and many of them do, they come into the dance company, to the apprentice company. They fold in to a beautiful community of people that are of all different walks of life, all different shapes, colors, economic strata, etc. And they learn how to integrate with each other and to help each other and support each other. And I think that's very powerful. You yourself know that when you study dance, it's hard. And when you're on the floor doing these things and you go into performance, it really has that incredible ability to bond people together. And these bonds I've seen last a lifetime outside of the studio. So people may leave the studio, but the people that they've bonded with at the studio, it's a lifetime connection for them. I've been just deeply devoted to mentorship this whole time on many levels through the SEEDS program, but also individual mentorships with young women who have requested me to do that. Some of my mentorships, I'm involved in one right now. It will last at least 4 years. Some of them have lasted 7 years, 10 years, and so on. So I've really devoted myself to mentorship. It's been my privilege and honor to serve in that way. But I also run a SEEDS group every year that is for mature women. And we cover a lot of these same topics, but from a more advanced perspective. And we use it as a way to really take a reset, learn about themselves, that kind of thing. And the other thing I do is I teach a SEEDS teacher training every year in June. And it's not just about SEEDS, it's how to teach SEEDS and how to implement SEEDS in the community. But it's also about teaching, just to be a teacher. It's truly a teacher training. And it's also, I think, an excellent excellent place to get all kinds of questions answered about touring, about becoming a professional performer, about running a dance studio, being a profit model versus a nonprofit model. All that kind of stuff is covered in the SEEDS teacher training.
Wow, everyone needs this class. They should have this in every school.
I think there are over 30, maybe 35 different SEEDS programs that have happened throughout the country and are happening today.
Wow, that's incredible. Are you teaching that teacher training this year?
I am going to teach the teacher training this year. I'm going to teach it in a hybrid way. Like to take this training, could do it virtually. And that's never been available before. So I really hope people will take me up on that, because I think there are a lot of people who would love to take this training and haven't been able to, because the cost of travel is so great. And I feel confident now that we can do the training over the internet in a way that I wasn't sure before I could envision. So I really hope people will show up and do that. And then some people will be here in person taking the training. And that's available also if people feel by June that they want to travel, all the right protocols would have to be in place for that to happen. Also, I have classes on the regular. I teach my FunkX fitness class every Tuesday and Thursday at noon Mountain Standard Time. I teach both beginning, what I call PID, Pomegranate Improvisational Dance. It used to be ATS. That is at 6 p.m. Well, also, I'm on Patreon, and there's over 100 instructional videos that you can study. It's $20 as an entrance person, and then as you work yourself up, it's $35 a month. So it's very reasonable. And you can have access to practically everything. Of course, you can study with me privately on Zoom. We have these wonderful shows. We've done already 4 shows that we've put up. We're about to do our 5th, which will be for Valentine's Day. And it will be on the Saturday before, on the 13th. We're going to have some wonderful special guests. The Star Belly Dancers from Boise, Idaho will be joining us. Also, a group called Shisha, which is led by Teresa Tome, who is in Kentucky, and another favorite dancer of mine. Both of these women, I think, are incredible dance artists. So they're going to be joining us. And of course, Mosaic is going to do all kinds of beautiful work. Behind me is a painting by my dear friend, Anthony Corso. And so we're going to perform in front of these gorgeous 5x7 paintings. A dear friend of mine wrote this gorgeous poem about love, of course. We're also going to be performing to some stunningly beautiful music called Unity of the Heart by this phenomenal group of musicians and singers. I met them at Middle Eastern Music and Dance Camp. It'll be so inspiring and so full of love. It's called A Show of Love. So I hope people will show up and enjoy. That money helps to keep my studio open and to keep us moving forward and to keep things like the SEEDS program alive and well. So I really hope people will show up and support the show and enjoy it, and also support all the work that we're doing.
Well, thank you so much for visiting with me today, Myra. It was so great to finally get to catch up with you and hear all about all the wonderful things you're doing. Thank you so much for all you're offering to the world right now.
Thank you for having me.
Bye.
Bye.
That's it, guys. I'm linking all of Myra's information on her upcoming showcase in February, as well as how to join her Patreon page, get information on her teacher training and current ongoing classes that you can join in person or virtually, information on the Pomegranate SEEDS program, and how you can contact Myra for further mentorship. If you like this video, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing to my channel so I can continue to make more videos like this for you. Thanks so much, guys. Let me just start over.